Hello and welcome to Exponential Growth. This journey where every one of us is trying to multiply exponentially the results that we generate, the outcomes that we create, and the many, many things that we do. I'm excited to have you on this journey, and I look forward to seeing massive and exponential growth in your life. But as we begin this new module, we're just starting from the foundations, and this module is called self mastery. Extremely important because this is at the center of all growth. You are at the center of all growth that happens in your life. Actually, whether it's growth or it's decline, nothing happens in your life that is not directly connected to who you are. And so, for us, this module is going to be our starting point. We want to begin from here. And the basic thesis is that whatever happens outside of you is responding to what happens inside of you. So, the change that you want to see, I'm sure that when you think of exponential growth, you're thinking probably of business, you're thinking ministry, you're thinking personal influence, personal brand. Exactly. Those are outcomes. But everything begins inside. And this is the foundation of this particular subtrack or this lesson, that you are at the center of everything that you do. Your outcomes are powered by you. The things that happen around your life simply respond to what happens inside your life. Who you become controls everything you do. Nothing grows unless you begin to grow. So, well, you think of exponential growth and you're thinking, oh, my business, I want to scale this business. I want this ministry to go global or international. I want my personal brand to go leaps and bounds. I have a consulting service and I want to stop attracting just peanuts and cracker clients. I want to begin to deal with the big boys. I want to begin to attract major clients. I want to experience massive, massive growth. My career, my faith, my finance, my influence, all of that. When you think of those things, I don't want you to think of them as individual domains. You need to think of you at the center, because you are at the center of everything that you do. So, if you want to change any of these domains, don't start by focusing on them. The thing or the place to put your energy is on this guy at the center, yourself. And that's why self mastery is the foundational module of exponential growth. Because when we understand ourselves, when we understand our strengths, when we understand how the inside powers the outside, it becomes very easy to control the outside. Because while you may not have control over the things happening outside, you do have 100% control of what happens inside. And we know that no change starts on the outside. All change is inside out. Every transformation begins on the inside, then begins to play out on the outside. When you see a tree that is having green leaves, it's not the green leaves that is responsible for the growth. It's something that we don't see that's responsible for the growth. And that's the basic foundation. If you understand this concept, you will be able to apply the many, many lessons of exponential growth, and you will be able to begin to see exponential growth. So it doesn't matter what industry you are in, what business you are in, see growth as an outcome of what happens inside of you. That is where we want to start. What powers you? Now, almost all of us as individuals, we get to a point in life where we have been growing, then suddenly we stop. And everybody has a tendency. It does not matter who you are. We all have that tendency. It's an unspoken dynamic of life, because anything that has the potential to grow also has the potential to stop growing. Because definitely growth is an outcome. Something powered growth. There's something you were doing that was driving growth. And the day you stop doing what you're doing, the growth is going to stop. And because we have that tendency to get stuck, it actually creates a major um scenario in life. So you find out people who actually begin their journey of growth. They start making progress, they start learning something, and they get to a point, and suddenly you wonder, what happened to this person? This person was moving faster than this, but he or she stopped. It's normal, it happens. And let me explain to you really one of the major causes of this. When you learn something new, if you don't apply it, you are at the risk of becoming a brilliant container with no action. And that's not you. But you see, for those of us who are even actors, we are doers, we learn things and we begin to act on them, we end up creating new things with the knowledge that we acquired. And so the information that started coming into us began to be changed into action, and we got ourselves into a new place. So you probably started a new business, you began a new service, you expanded what you were doing as a result of the new knowledge and information that you acquired, which is good. That was growth happening. And then when you begin to do things, you suddenly get sucked up in the doing loop. You have that action loop where you are doing and doing and doing, and you get carried away by doing that you forget about the core thing that powers the doing, which is the you on the inside, the knowledge that drives your action. After a while, you are so engaged in doing that doing becomes your default autopilot. And you likely get to a point where you exhaust your knowledge repository. You exhaust the knowledge that brought you here, and then you begin to operate on recycled knowledge. You begin to operate on existing knowledge. And that is the point where we get stuck. Where, yes, I learned new things. I got to the point where I am. Now I am applying the knowledge I have and I am generating results, but I am generating results with the same set of knowledge again and again and again. That's what happens when we plateau because we are now trying to deal with even new situations with old knowledge. So there were situations we dealt with. When the knowledge came, it was new, and we were able to apply them to existing scenarios, and we created new platforms, new opportunities, new growth dimensions. However, if we don't keep on acquiring new knowledge, when new problems come, we want to keep applying the same knowledge to them. And that's where the problem comes. We suddenly find ourselves in a box, in a loop, and we're saying, but this thing worked. This knowledge was working before. How come it's no longer working? Of course, it worked. But the idea is, what brought you here was not supposed to take you beyond here. Not even so, it cannot take you beyond here because the knowledge you needed to get here functions for you from there to here. If you will conquer new territories, you need new information, you need new knowledge. And as long as you stay with what you already know, as long as you stay just with the knowledge that you already have, you will continue to operate at the same level. If you're running on dry ground, the knowledge you need to move is knowledge of walking or of running. If you're going to step into an ocean, you need new set of knowledge, swimming skills. So if you're going to transition from land to sea, you needed to have acquired new set of skills. If you don't have new skills, you need to have new tools. So a car brought you here, but a boat is going to take you there. The simple idea is what brought you here is not what will take you away from here. If you're going to go beyond the level you are, if you're going to experience growth beyond this current level, definitely you need to be able to access higher knowledge, higher information. And that's the whole idea. With a particular set of knowledge, you only are able to perform a particular kind of action. With time, you begin to experience decline or stagnation because that action becomes insufficient to carry the weight or the operations of your life. This is a concept that we're going to explore in subsequent lesson. However, let me just give you illustrations to make it very simple. Let's say you run a business. The knowledge you needed to go from idea to startup was different. I conceive an idea and I want to turn it into a business. There's a set of skills that you needed. Now the business has started. To keep it running, you need a different set of knowledge. The knowledge you need to build products is not the same as the knowledge you need to sell products. So if you don't acquire new knowledge, you get stuck, you get stagnant. The knowledge you need to run a business in one location is different from what you need to go from one location to five locations. So, what brought you to one location can't take you to 5, 10, or 15 locations because operational skills of running one business and people skills of managing multiple locations are different. If you don't acquire the new set of skills, you will not be able to scale. You'll be doing very well where you are, but that's going to be stagnation. That's going to be getting stuck. If you will scale, if you will grow, if you will move beyond where you are, you need new skills, you need new knowledge. If you operate business in one country and you want to go take it to another country, you need new knowledge. How does businesses run in that country? What are the laws of those countries? How is the psychology of the people? How does marketing happen here? What kind of vocabulary do you use in convincing people? New knowledge, new knowledge. The idea is very simple. Many of us don't grow because we don't acquire the knowledge we need to grow. Even if you're a pastor, you run a ministry, you run a church, what you need to manage a church of 50 people and what you need to manage a church of 500 people are not the same. Totally different skill set. Same thing in business. 5 employees, 50 employees, 100 employees, they require different set of skills. And so it's not that you didn't know enough. You knew something that got you to where you are. Where you are now, you are successful at this level, but you can't leave this level unless you unlock new truths, new wisdom, new insight. And so every time you get stuck, every time you begin to feel like you're not making progress, every time you begin to experience the law of diminishing returns, I'm putting in effort, but I'm not getting the results I want to get. Every time you begin to feel overwhelmed, oh, this level is just stressing me, or you're feeling that you're becoming inadequate, you're feeling like there's something you're trying to do and it's just not moving. It's not the time to get overwhelmed. It's not the time to get perplexed. It's not the time to feel afraid. Life is just giving you a sign telling you it's time to move. Life is telling you you've reached the end of one knowledge path. You've exhausted your current wisdom. Now it's time to acquire new wisdom. Now it's time to acquire new knowledge. So it's just life is just telling you, hey bro, hey sis, you've hit your personal growth bar in that domain where you're experiencing that problem. So it's time to unlock new levels. And let me just add this. Sometimes this can be happening in just a particular segment of your life. Some things are working fine, but you are feeling stuck in some areas. So your business could be doing fine, but you're feeling like your parenting or your marriage or your social life is having issues. Or you are doing fine in ministry, you're doing fine in business, but your spiritual life is getting stuck. Your relationships are getting stuck. Your health is beginning to become a challenge. That area where you're suddenly beginning to feel stuck, feel overwhelmed, feel like things are no longer working, life is telling you pay attention to that area because you've exhausted what you know in that area. And so when you begin to feel like this, you have two options. You can either choose to stay where you are and just plateau, or you can choose to say, no, I want to go for growth. I want to explore what is next. I want to explore what is higher. You can stay struggling and say, no, 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 I'll fix this. I'll fix this. You don't fix it by working harder. You fix it by unlocking new truths, new wisdom. Put yourself on a growth path. And I just wanted to put you in this frame of mind as we begin this journey that you are the center of everything that happens. Have that understanding. Nothing will change unless you change. So, as we explore this module on self mastery, we're not just trying to understand ourselves for nothing. We're trying to understand ourselves because we are the key to growth. Everything responds to who you are. I like to say it this way: you are the hack, you are the password. If things will grow, you are the remote control. Once you touch it within yourself, it will show up outside of you. If you don't become it, you cannot have it. You cannot do it. And in fact, even if we give it to you, even if we put you at the level you want to be, if you've not become it on the inside, you cannot sustain it. And so, this whole idea of exponential growth begins with you. That is the idea of this lesson. Have it at the back of your mind. I am trying to grow, but I'm not working on the things people see. I want to begin working on the things people do not see. That's the end of this particular subtrack. The next subtrack, I'll tell you a few more things.